Thanks for joining us on Northwest Leaders and Legends, the show where we explore the ideas, the people, and the initiatives powering the Northwest's economy and strengthening the communities we share. I'm your host, Jill Walters, and together we'll dig into the stories and insights shaping our region's growth with our very own Leaders and Legends. Whether you're listening on the radio, watching our videos, or tuning in through our podcast, we're glad you're here. So settle in as we dive into the forces driving our region forward. On Northwest Leaders and Legends today, Washington welcomes the world. Seattle made a bold bet on the 2026 World Cup, not just a month of matches, but for a decade of impact. With a powerhouse coalition behind it, the region has geared up for a global stage. And today, Beth Knox, the CEO of the Seattle Sports Commission, is here to break down how Seattle won the bid and how businesses have prepared for the world to arrive. Beth, thank you so much for joining us on Northwest Leaders and Legends today.
Jill, it is truly a pleasure. We are in the middle of some great energy in our city right now, so it's a perfect time to have this conversation.
Oh, we feel it right here in Vancouver, Washington, too, and I know the world is. You are seated right at the heart of all things happening in Seattle, and so this is a perfect time for us just to talk about the experience, the lead up to all the things that are happening right now, and to get us started. Let me start with this. Seattle wasn't just making a local pitch for World Cup. It had to fit into a unified process with U.S. Soccer, while also meeting FIFA's technical requirements on things like stadium standards and natural grass and transit and citywide lodging inventory. So more on the technical side of the bid. How did you prove that Seattle and Lumen Field in particular could meet FIFA standards and differentiate itself from other cities?
Well, first of all, Lumen Field is just a world-class venue right out of the gate. And, they are really up there as far as technology and amenities. They rank very high across all of the stadiums across the country. So we started out of the gate really strong. Obviously, FIFA has very specific requirements. It's a unique challenge for FIFA to ensure that all the stadiums across all these cities, across 3 different countries, have equal turf and environments for the players to play on. Obviously, that needs to be equitable across the board. So it is a unique challenge, and that requires numerous site visits by the technical team, by the team from FIFA that oversees what it takes to grow the grass and to have a grass field that meets all of those specifications. So there were a lot of visits in that lead up period in the bid process. But there's no question that the Lumen Field staff is extraordinary and very, very professional. So they were able to meet all of the requirements through that process. So we felt very confident about that. But we also know that Seattle has a competitive edge in that we are literally the only city that has a stadium in downtown that creates this walkable footprint. And we have seen it play out over and over where Seattle is ranked in the top 2 for best fan experience, best stadium experience. All of these different surveys and in rankings have put us in the top echelon. We've been really proud of how we've delivered on that. Lot of work in the lead up process, that's for sure. But I felt very confident in our ability to deliver on it.
We're hearing that feedback in real time right now for all the international visitors that are here and folks that are, across the state and just worldwide. We are going to talk a little bit more about that. A couple questions from now. Next, Seattle isn't just logistically capable. It also needed to prove that it's culturally aligned with what FIFA wants the World Cup to represent. I read that the Seattle Sports Commission, your commission, drew directly from consular consulates and cultural representatives to help local communities across Washington welcome visitors with that authentic Pacific Northwest warmth while still honoring their customs, expectations, and traditions. Can you talk about that cultural work that factored into Seattle's overall bid and positioning, and how you see it shaping the visitor experience during the tournament?
It's an interesting dichotomy that we have to approach that with, because first of all, there are the cultures and values and priorities of the neighborhoods and communities right here in our city. And we want to honor those first and foremost. But we have to also honor the cultures that are coming to visit our city and to compete in our city. So it's also a process of, you don't know what teams you are going to draw until well into the planning phase. So it was important to us that we met with the consulates and we met with various neighborhoods early on. And I give so much credit to the Seattle Local Organizing Committee. Their staff just did a tremendous job. They were really dedicated to the outreach, meeting with all of the consulates, not knowing if that country would be represented by a team, but the potential for them to be a fan, or to their constituents to be a fan, was high. So we wanted to make sure that we were taking into consideration their values, their needs, their priorities, and then how do we interweave that into that of our neighborhoods right here, around, especially in the downtown Seattle area, but also throughout the state of Washington. It was just so important to us that we included representatives from Vancouver, Washington, from Spokane, from Bellingham. We wanted the entire state to feel like that the FIFA World Cup hosting was as much theirs as it was Seattle's, which is why we created the fan zones, 9 of them throughout the state of Washington, and giving them a kind of a fan fest in a box, if you will, the tools that they could then create their own celebration to honor their neighborhoods and their cultures and communities. So it was a lot of collaboration, and I can't understate how much time that took and how much of a payoff there was for that time that was invested. So it was a really important piece of how we approached the planning, and we've seen it pay off in just over and over throughout this World Cup.
So exciting. And Beth, this event is projected to be the largest sporting event in the region's history, with nearly 750,000 visitors and an estimated $650 million in direct spending. Some cities have not chosen to pursue hosting, but from Seattle's standpoint, how did the financial assessment shape the decision to participate?
Certainly, the financial component is important, but it was just one aspect of numerous reasons why we wanted to host the FIFA World Cup. And of course, we want that direct impact to our tax revenue, the creation of jobs that come from hosting an event of this nature. The economic impact is certainly important. But we also see that hosting a mega event even incentivizes a number of infrastructure improvements, upgrades, and legacy projects. You think about the 1962 World's Fair and the legacies that are left behind from the World's Fair, the monorail, the Space Needle, one of the most iconic buildings, structures in the world. And while we weren't necessarily looking for another Space Needle, we knew that we could create other legacy components. So having an event that incentivized those legacy projects was equally important to us. But it's also, we see it as an opportunity to host fans and visitors for the first time in Seattle, who are visiting for the first time, and then create an incentive for them to return on vacation, to bring their family and friends. And that meant we needed to deliver an extraordinary experience in order to do that. So this all ties into to the why we would want to host this. It's the longer term value that we get out of it, and probably the most, I think, impactful piece of it is what it means for Seattle to be on the global stage. When we are reaching 2 billion people watching the broadcast, that's just for Seattle. 2 billion people are watching all of our matches. And then there's all the people that are here in person, and having Seattle be promoted as a FIFA World Cup host city, we will never lose that title, no matter what. We will always be known as a FIFA World Cup host city. So that's just an invaluable benefit of being a host city in this type of an event. And it's difficult to measure that value, but we know that there will be people that will want to come back and visit, that there will be businesses that want to invest in our region in the future, that they've had such a great experience here. We know that there will be people who will want to move and live here and then come and work in our region because they had such a great experience. There's a long lasting legacy that happens when you host an event that goes far beyond the economic impact that took place in 2026 during the month that we're hosting this event.
And those statistics are proving that 2/3 of those that come to this event will return within 5 years of the time that they were here as a return visitor. So talk about the compact or the compounding benefit of what that looks like for tourism, for relocation, for attraction of businesses, really the ecosystem of economic development. So that is exciting, and I'm so glad Seattle saw that and saw that opportunity for the possibilities. And to that, Everett, over the past weekend, last week, Thursday and Friday of last week, we saw it for ourselves, hosted one of those fan zones, and it looked like about 6,000 residents and visitors in Everett, not Seattle, participated in watch parties. And so we're seeing that play out and what that means to those cities here in the state of Washington. So are you seeing any of the projections of tourism? Are they exceeding expectations, or what are you hearing about who is actually here? Is it more than you thought it would be?
Well, the numbers will play out over the coming weeks, and we'll have a real assessment of those numbers. But we have certainly seen it firsthand. In fact, I have some quick numbers here. This is extraordinary. It's not only the visitors, but it's also the locals, regionals throughout the state that have come to Seattle, or they've gone to Everett, they've gone to Spokane, all of these places. When we had the USA match versus Australia last Friday, roughly 15,000 people marched to the match from the waterfront to Lumen Field to Seattle Stadium. It's the largest in Seattle history. There were another 8,000 marchers that representing Australia and going to the stadium. Again, this is all on one day. There were 3,000 of those Australian fans at Victory Hall for the watch party, another 3,000 at Westlake, 2,500 people at Seattle Center, 12,000 people were at Pacific Place, which is known as Seattle Soccer House for this time period. I mean, the numbers just went on and on. They were everywhere. So yes, it is an impact of that goes beyond just the visitors. It's the locals being reminded that, oh yes, I can come downtown. I can be a tourist in my own town and have a great experience. So many people are even who live in our state are coming down to the waterfront for the first time and thinking, oh, I have to bring my family back. So this is the kind of that domino effect that we're seeing. We've heard the record that Sound Transit set with the number of ridership on the USA Australia match. There was 280,000 people riding light rail in a single day. That's a record. In fact, Sound Transit, the three of the top five ridership days were all from World Cup. So this is changing behavior. It's changing cultural behavior of using public transportation. Now that they are using it for World Cup, and they are seeing how easy it is, how convenient it is, and they're going to use it in the future. There's so many benefits from hosting this event.
We know we are celebrating June Ride Transit Month right now in the state of Washington. And so we feel it. We know exactly what you're talking about. Well, stay right where you are. We are just going to take a quick break, Beth, but we want more conversation with you, more to come in the second half of Northwest Leaders and Legends. So stay tuned. And now we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First, we'd like to thank The Soundstage, the Northwest's premier voiceover and self-tape studio equipped with professional industry recording equipment right here in downtown Vancouver. For more information, go to www.thesoundstagenw.com. And we'd also like to take a moment to thank KXRW, Vancouver's own local independent radio station. They're dedicated to delivering quality programming to the Vancouver community and beyond. Tune into KXRW at 99.9 FM or worldwide on the web at kxrw.fm. And we are back from our break with the CEO of the Seattle Sports Commission, Beth Knox, for the second half of our conversation with you today. And Beth, my question for you is a little curious. What is one special aspect of Seattle's World Cup preparations that you didn't expect?
Yeah, I think that I would say I didn't expect that we would have the ability to create our own community branding. And so that was something that was a bit of a surprise, a pleasant surprise. Obviously, FIFA restricts use of their marks, and you have to be a national or global partner in order to have that right. And we wanted to have this unified brand image for the city. And so our good friends at Visit Seattle took it upon themselves to work with Copacino Fujikata marketing agency, and they created a brand that we could just deliver free to any business, to stakeholders like the airport, or organizations like the Chamber of Commerce, the Sports Commission, the Downtown Seattle Association, and also small businesses or large businesses. Everyone could use it, so that we created this unified identity for the city that you can look at it, you can see the graphics that represent a soccer pitch, or the words "Play Seattle," "Play SEA," and everyone knows what it is about. But it was ours exclusively, and we had the rights to use that. So I didn't know about that going into it, but it's a good reminder for the future as well, when we are hosting future events, that we have that ability to create something that is unique to us.
That's right. That's right. As you were shaping Seattle's approach to World Cup, though, did you look in your preparation to other host cities or other major event destinations for ideas on sort of their lessons learned that you would be able to incorporate in Seattle?
It's a great question. And, I've been in the industry of large scale special events my entire career. So it's in my DNA to always be looking for ideas from other events, other organizations that are doing something well. And the goal that you always have is, what can I steal from another location, another event, and then modify it to make it unique to our city or our event. But when the World Cup was in Qatar, the Seattle delegation that traveled there saw that their newly developed waterfront, where the fan celebration and watch party took place. And that really inspired the idea for us that using our Seattle waterfront as an activation site for the World Cup. So Pier 62 is an activation venue I give a lot of credit to the Seattle Sounders, the Seattle Rain FC, the Ray Foundation. They collaborated with Friends of the Waterfront, and they not only did the Pier 62, but they brought in a barge to be next to the pier. And that's where the watch party takes place. So there's a giant screen on the barge, and you can not only see it, of course, it's ideal to be on the barge, but you can see it from the overlook and the Salish Steps, which is just free. Anybody can, coming down from Pike Place Market, can sit on the steps and watch the watch party. So I love the idea of taking what Qatar did with their waterfront development, which was created specifically for the World Cup, but then applying it to Seattle and having that be uniquely ours. And then I'll say that there's also been a lot of collaboration and sharing across all of the host cities, especially in the United States. Now in Seattle, we also have worked closely with Vancouver, BC as well. But throughout all of that collaboration, we knew just how important it was to craft our approach to be authentically Seattle. And that's why we ended up creating not just one fan celebration, but multiples throughout the downtown. We have 4 official fan celebrations in downtown Seattle. We have the 9 fan zones across the state of Washington, and that allows greater access by more people, and then more impact across the different businesses. So, really taking that one idea that we saw in Qatar and then extrapolating that to how it can be uniquely Seattle, it inspired a lot of firsts for Seattle. We were the first to hire a chief legacy officer. We were the first and only host city in FIFA history to have an Indigenous peoples nation as a World Cup host city supporter. So these are the kinds of things that make such a difference. The first host city to have a youth access program where we gave 1,400 tickets to a World Cup match to underserved kids and their caregivers. So the list goes on, that almost things that became uniquely Seattle that were inspired by other events.
Knowing what you know now about planning for a mega event like this one, what advice would you give when you get that telephone call to organizers of the 2030 World Cup in Morocco, Spain, Portugal about engaging and preparing their communities?
I feel like I sound like a broken record, but it really does. I would say, again, make it uniquely yours, to really spend the time thinking about what is special about your nation, your culture. What are the non-negotiables? We knew that Seattle wanted to celebrate Pride Weekend while there was a match here Juneteenth, which is when the USA played on Juneteenth here. Those are very important events in Seattle, and so there were a couple times when we got pushback that it wasn't ubiquitous to across the nation, but we held firm because this is who we are. And that would be my advice to any country, is to stay true to your values and the culture that is important to you. It doesn't mean that it's exclusive. You want to be accessible and open to other cultures, but you want to maintain what's important to you and to showcase that, because it's what makes you special.
It sure is. And Seattle is doing a perfect job just on its own, identifying exactly who it is, what it is, and what it invites for future investment, for future travel here, and the welcome arms it holds for global travelers everywhere. That is so exciting. I do want to ask this question. I am certain FIFA wanted assurances that local political wins, and as they are over these years, wouldn't shift against the event once the host city was selected. So those long-term commitments were really essential. How did you build that level of political stability, and how did you secure those assurances for FIFA?
Well, and of course, as Seattle has seen, we did have an administration change at the city level midway through. So that can happen, certainly. And there's never a guarantee, no matter how much you plan in advance. But you can mitigate to the best of your ability, and building a consensus, not just at the executive level of our local government, but also at the department heads, the agencies that we worked with, having this strong network of collaboration and buy-in early on. That was key. So there was so much planning and preparation that was already underway and in place by the time we did have an administration change at the mayoral level. So it was actually quite easy to transition into. There was certainly some education that had to happen with the new administration, but we felt confident that the work that we had done to lay the groundwork would really allow us to navigate that change. But no surprise, of course, anytime you can have agreements that are in place in advance, which we did, that really helps to bridge any political change as well.
And then, also the comments and the write ups that are happening in newspapers shared across the country, just about the experience and what's happening in the communities just surrounding all the activity in the heart of the city, how welcoming the city has been. That must be music to your ears. You must be just so delighted to hear that the way that you have welcomed all of these international travelers and domestic travelers is really resonating for them.
Absolutely. And it's very gratifying. And to be able to show off our city and have our city actually, it rose to the challenge and the opportunity in full force. Met the moment, Jill. And that's been just really, I'm just so proud of our city, our state, the Pacific Northwest that really showed up. And just as importantly, I'm proud of our country. I'm proud of the way that our country has welcomed all of these international visitors and the love that we're getting in return. I think that is such just a moment for us to soak up and relish this time, because we have done something, again, not just in Seattle, not just Washington, but across North America, that is extraordinary. And it's something that we all can be proud of, that we're all going to benefit from. We're all going to be better as a result of this event. So I'm just really, really proud and privileged to be a part of it, and so happy at how things have played out and the success we've seen.
Well, all of that hard work is paying off. All of the years of preparation is paying off in spades for everyone attached to this event. And we are so proud of the work that you've put into all of it on behalf of our state, of our region, all the communities that we share here across Washington state. Upcoming games in Seattle are still happening. So we are right in the middle of this. And I think, do we have July 1st and July 6th coming up? Is that right?
And Friday, the 26th, we
And
have
Friday.
as well. Yes.
Friday the 26th. Well, we will be watching, and so proud and delighted for everything that's happened. And right now is the time to just relish all the excitement happening in our city, because this hardly happens. We don't know when we'll come back to this and have this event back in the States. But when we do, I believe Seattle will be the first at the table. So I just thank you so much for joining us today on Northwest Leaders and Legends. Beth, this has been just a delight. And I know that we're right in the middle of World Cup fever, so we'll be watching right along with you. A special thanks to our audience and for listening on the other platforms and for watching our long-form interview with you today. A special thanks to our producer, Michael Sarno, for everything that he does to produce our show. We'll have another special episode in the weeks ahead, and until then, we're sending warm Northwest wishes your way and to all of your communities. And until then, bye for now. Thank you. Thanks, Beth. Thank you for spending a bit of your day with us today, and I hope today's show brought insight and value to you. You can find Northwest Leaders and Legends across our platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and on our radio at KXRW 99.9 FM. We're also on Patreon, where you can explore extended interviews with our special guests. If you enjoyed our content and want to stay connected, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Those small actions make a huge difference in helping us reach more people and strengthen our community. We'll be back soon with another special guest and meaningful conversations about the people and ideas shaping the Northwest economy. And until then,